Hello everyone, we are Group 1. Today we're gonna present you our survey about the most problem facing the world. Our topic includes waste problem, poverty problem around the world, following by lack of food problem, air pollution, and education problem. Let's take a look at what we found.
Hello, my name is Sirada Manasuragun. Today I will talk about waste problem. Waste is a significant global issue. Increasing volumes of waste are being generated as the global population and living standard rise. And every year we dump a massive 2.12 billion tons of waste on the planet.
Waste types include solid waste, liquid waste, organic waste, hazardous waste, and recyclable waste. Cause of waste include 1. Construction projects. Some percentage of reader also comes from construction projects. The workers crunch time waste together with uncontrolled generation of building waste is the grouping of reader produced from construction projects. 2. Laziness and carelessness have bred a culture of habitual littering. Typically, people have become too lazy and unwilling to throw away trash appropriately. 3. The belief that there is no consequence for littering. Since people perceive there is no consequence for their action when they do items anyhow and anywhere. And 4. Lack of waste bin. Some places have waste bin but there are not enough, and some of the existing ones are sometimes poorly managed, which leads to overload of the containers. Environmental pollution caused by waste is 1. Air pollution. Air pollution is the combination of air by smoke, particles, and harmful gas. They are mainly oxidants of carbon, nitrogen, and sulfur. 2. Land pollution is mainly caused by improper disposal of waste and the misuse of resources. 3. Garbage pollution. The effects of this type of pollution is the spread of harmful bacteria in the surroundings, which will also end up as air pollution. The water will also get contaminated, which will transmit parasites and bacteria of humans. 4. Beach pollution is waste like plastic bags, nets, or cigarette filter that being thrown to beach. This waste harms sea creatures and affect the marine environment. And 5. Plastic pollution. Plastic pollution is hard and soft non-biodegradable plastic that stay on the land for thousands of years or forever. It will stay forever in the soil and harm the soil's health and composition. Solution to the waste problem is 1. Education and raising awareness. 2. Regulations regarding negative externalities. 3. Effective waste management system and sources management plans. And 4. Reuse and recycling of materials. Next is a video about the global waste problem.
Good morning everyone, my name is Lalada Sithongsuk. Today I'm gonna present about problem of lack of food. Let's see the video first.
One half of the hungry belong to small farming communities. Hunger persists because of conflict and war, natural disasters, climate change, and poverty. It is a less visible form of hunger that affects mothers, children, urban and rural poor. Hunger continues to be a serious problem. But hunger can be stopped. You can do something about it. You just need to know how. Engage and help. Spark change. Stop hunger.
As you can see, these are causes of problem. First, war and conflicts. The poorest member of society suffer the worst during war and conflict. Second, poor infrastructure. The roads were so poor, it was not possible to reach all people who need the food to survive. Third, climate change. Climate change is damaging food and water security in significant ways. This is the greatest environmental challenge the world has ever faced. 4. Lack of farmer. In developed countries, less than 2% of people grow crops and breed animals for food. Fewer people are choosing farming as an occupation. 5. Water scarcity. 28% of agriculture has a problem lack of water. Farmers don't have enough water to grow crops and raise animals. These are solutions how to solve the problem. First, war and conflict. We can provide shelter for war refugees. Second, poor infrastructure. If we can't improve difficult roads to travel to, we must find ways to help those people, such as try to use helicopter to deliver food or use drone to transport food instead. Third, climate change. We can plant warm weather plants. The plant that can live with the heat, such as bean, broccoli, cabbage, cucumber, pumpkin, and tomato. 4. Lack of farmer. We cannot order other people to become farmer. What we can do is support the farmer. And we can also teach people how to grow some vegetable that they can consume. 5. Water scarcity. We can teach people how to save water and use water wisely. These are the examples of countries that lack of food. First, Central African Republic. The Central African Republic, or CAR, remains at the top of this list as the hungriest country in the world. Second is Yemen. Food insecurity has risen in the last year, with more than 20 million people across the country facing hunger, and 10 million people suffering from extreme level of hunger. Yemen is the world's largest food security crisis driven primarily by conflicts. And the last one is Madagascar. Every year, Madagascar is hit by an average of 1.5 cyclone, and it is the highest number in Africa in 2019.
Poverty is still a big problem in the world today. Poverty means the condition where there is lack of the necessary of life. It can make people's life more difficult and can lead to another problems. As you can see from the numbers, this is in spite of the progress that you see around you. The good news is that this progress of this problem is went down sharply, but poverty still remains anyways. The problem with poverty is that the causes are extremely complicated, with different factors contributing to the problem. Even countries with a strong economy still have a significant number of people who are struggling to survive. The number of extremely poor people continues to rise in sub-Saharan Africa, followed by South Asia, East Asia, and Asia Pacific. Poverty in Africa is heavily concentrated in a few countries. Uganda is one of the countries in sub-Saharan Africa that is the highest rate of poverty reduction. Although the country remains among the poorest in the world, poverty in Africa is the lack of provision to satisfy the basic human needs, and Africa's share of income has been consistently dropping over the past century but did not have any measure. The second one is South Asia, as India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, but poverty is on the decline in the country, and India has 73 million people living in extreme poverty. Most of them live in the countryside and keep afloat with odd jobs. The lack of employment, which provides a livable wage in rural areas, is driving many Indians into rapidly growing metropolitan areas. There are many factors contributed to poverty. Problem number 1. Unemployment or no job affect the income and poverty status of family including children. Number 2. 1 year of childcare for an infant costs very high. Poor families who pay out of pocket for childcare spend 1/3 of their income just to be able to work.
3. Even a minor criminal record that can serve as lifelong barrier to climbing out of poverty. For example, people with criminal record face substantial barriers to employment. More than 90% of employers now use background check in hiring, and even an arrest without a conviction can prevent an individual from getting a job. 4. Income is not enough to supply for all of needs. It is hard to control the balance of income and expenses. This problem can lead to run out of money at the beginning of the month. Solution number 1. Create jobs. We must create new jobs for expanding employment opportunity for the unemployed. The federal government should invest in job creation strategies such as rebuilding our infrastructure. Number 2. Raise the minimum wage. Boosting the minimum wage reduces poverty and increase wages, and this also tends to boost the income of poor families that remain below the poverty line. For example, America raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour would create 1.3 million jobs. Number 3. Invest in affordable, high-quality childcare and early education. Boosting investment to childcare, which would invest in preschool, high-quality childcare for infants and toddlers, and home visiting service for pregnant women and mothers with infants, will help more struggling families obtain the childcare they need in order to work and improve the future economic mobility of children. 4. Reform the criminal justice system and enact policy that support successful re-entry. Policymakers should explore alternatives to incarceration such as diversion programs for individuals with mental health and substance abuse challenges. We must also remove barriers to employment, housing, education, and public assistance.
The problem of air pollution is caused by many reasons, and this problem also affects the environment and humans. Nowadays, we can see that the air pollution problem in our world is increasing more than before.
Air pollution is essentially the build-up of gases and particulates which can harm human health or even damage the environment.
Human causes of air pollution. Human activities have been highlighted as the major causes of air pollution, especially in the cities. Air toxics, domestic smoke and heating, aircraft pollution, outdoor fires, and incineration of waste. Transportation, such as air pollution from vehicles. Natural causes of air pollution. Other than human actions, air pollution is also caused by natural events. Forest fire, smoke from a forest fire. Volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruptions cause lava and many smokers occur. Wind erosion. It is a natural process that moves salt from one location to another by wind power.
Pollution. Nowadays, every individual is facing problems caused by it. Air pollution occurs when gases, smoke, dust, or odor get into the air and make it dirty. It's very harmful for humans, animals, and plants. There are many causes for air pollution. Sometimes air gets polluted due to eruptions of volcanoes, dust storms, and wildfires. Oh, it's too irritating. Smoke from factories, power plants, vehicles, chemicals, airplanes, fumes from spray cans, and methane gas from landfills causes air pollution.
Health effects. Air pollution can cause long-term and short-term health effects. It is found that the elderly and young children are more affected by air pollution. Environmental effects. Air pollution causes damage to crops, animals, forests, and bodies of water.
Let's see the effects of air pollution one by one. Effects on human. Air pollution causes headaches, dizziness, nasal irritation, lung diseases, and more. Oh, the sky looks so blackish. This is due to smog. This is very dangerous. Effects on plants. Air pollution causes damage to trees, vegetables, fruits, and flowers.
Ways to help keep the air cleaner. Improve industrial emissions standard. Improve emissions standards for road vehicles, inspection, and maintenance.
Hello, my name is Pippo Joelsen. Today I will present about the problem of education.
Problems of education have 50.9% of the world. What is education? Education is the process of facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skills, value, beliefs, and habits. Problems of education. 1. Poverty. Poverty can be regarded as a big cause for lack of education and for educational inequality. Children from poor families often do not have access to proper education since it is simple too expensive for their families to send them to school. 2. Parenting. Parenting is a big factor when it comes to a lack of education. The more your parents care about you, the less likely is it that you end up with a low level of education. 3. Lack of learning materials. Especially in poor developing countries, children also often suffer from a lack in learning material. 4. Wars. Wars can also be a big cause for a lack of education. In religion where wars are common, people simply feel that the protection of their life is more important than sending their kids to school. 5. Low qualification level of teacher. If teachers have no high level of education, chances are that school kids will also have a low level of education when they finish school, since their teachers have simply not been able to teach them on a high level. Solutions of education. 1. Better educational infrastructure. Government and municipalities should try to provide better educational infrastructure so that it's easier for the local population to attend school. 2. Support for children from difficult family conditions. Children who experience violence at home may also be at greater risk to suffer from significant lack of education, since they may become mentally sick, which may detach them to learn and progress. 3. Raise awareness on the importance of education. Many people might not even be aware what a lack of education really means for their children. Parents may believe that basic education taught at home is sufficient to succeed in life, since they do not know better. 4. Improve quality of teachers. In order to improve the overall education levels, we also have to make sure that the quality of the teacher is sufficient. 5. Financial support for poor families. It is also crucial to support poor families with financial subsidies that their kids are able to attend schools. This is the example of country with education program. Afghanistan, Nigeria.
Next, is a video that will show you about the problem of education that's occurring in each country around the world.